Hey, this is Scott from Slice Out Hunger and Scott's Pizza Tours here with Flavors of New York in Midwood, Brooklyn to check out the one, the only Fara at the corner of East 15th and Avenue J. First of all, you got to understand, this is a absolutely classic, typical location for a New York slice joint. Right at the corner with the window out onto the street. So they don't do this so much nowadays in the winter especially. You used to be able to walk right up to the window and get your slice without even going inside. But going inside is half the magic. So this is the kind of place where it is not a fast in and out slice joint. You might wait a little bit for your slice, but that's kind of part of the fun. So let's go inside. We'll meet Dom and we'll wait for a slice. So this is Dom Jr. right here, hanging out making the pies. Always great to come in when he's making the pies because he's got the touch. Now their pizzas are so great because they're simple. I think sometimes pizzerias tend to go overboard and then you're tasting what's on the pizza and not the pizza itself. But here, it's great and simple. They're using old Baker's Pride gas-fired deck ovens, but cranked, like whipped up to the top. You guys are running above 550, close to 6?
Bottom is 6 right now. Top is 650.
There you go. 50 to 100 degrees higher than standard slice joints, which means that you're going to get this crisp exterior and this softer interior. We're in the Midwood section of Brooklyn, which is south of Prospect Park by about 2 miles. And we're right next to the Q train. So if you're ever looking to come here, you take the Q into Brooklyn, you get off at Avenue J, and you're literally across the street from Fara. It's the main thoroughfare, Avenue J. It cuts right through the neighborhood, goes all the way down past the Oshavitsky Bakery, which is great place to get a babka and dry cookies. You know, those are really crumbly coffee cookies are super good. Yeah, Bagel Hole across the street. I mean, you will not go hungry in this neighborhood. 3 different cheeses.
We used to use the grinder for.
I remember. Well, remember your father was using Grana Padano for a while.
Grana Padano.
That was my favorite.
Right now we use Reggiano because it's pre-ground. Because what we're doing is, you know, we're a little quicker now than what was going on with him. And once the grinder broke, my father's never replaced it.
I remember.
He found it somewhere on Mulberry Street. He would see things, he'd walk around, he'd see things in these stores on Mulberry Street, and he'd be like, I'm going to use that. You get the grinder, you can still see the dent.
I remember when it was right there.
It's right in the marble.
Right on the corner.
In the marble, yeah.
So, I gotta explain for a second.
Yeah.
So, Dom's father, the co-founder of this place, Dominick DeMarco, would, when I first started going here, it's about maybe 20 years ago, he would make the pizza so inefficiently, but it was beautiful. So he'd stretch out the dough, he'd grab spoonfuls of like barely crushed whole peeled tomato, ladle them directly onto the dough, and then it was a blend of Polio whole milk low moisture mozzarella that was sliced directly onto the pie, and then mozzarella di bufala. And he'd bake, and then after the bake he'd pull it out, usually with his bare hands, and then he'd walk across the room over here to a grater and grate down some Grana Padano, walk back over, dump it on the pie, then add the oil, then clip on the basil, and then it was only at that moment that you knew who the pie was going to. And if you were the lucky enough person to be getting that fresh pie, he would look right up at you, right in the eyes, and he would not even say a word. You just know that this is yours. This is yours now. You're buying the 1 pounders?
My father started buying it in the supermarkets.
Yeah.
So he would go pay this high price for this square. It was more moist, than the loaf, which is, you know, industrial. So you just go buy it in the supermarkets, very pure, more soft. You started ordering it by the case, and you know, it all began that way.
That's cool. Wow, always spending the extra. Like they do these weird things. Like for a while they were using small packages of flour instead of big 50-pound bags. Buying grocery store mozzarella instead of big food service mozzarella. It's like weird decisions that result in a pizza that's just unlike anything else you get anywhere else. We're just gonna get 2 regular slices. You can get toppings, but it does not need it. Kind of sometimes I see people order a slice with too many toppings, and I try to convince them just get an extra slice of cheese. It's fine. Or get a regular slice in a square. Can I get 1 square actually? Oh, thank you for asking corner. Alright, I'm hungry, so I just got a square as well. And you're gonna have to eat some of it because you've never been.
Yeah, the squares are amazing. Because when people would stand at the counter and they would say, what should I get? A square or round? I'll get a round. And if there was a square guy from that cult of squares, he would look at them like, "What, are you crazy? You gotta get the square." And they would go like ballistic about saying that you gotta try, they would debate. If somebody would say the round was better than the square, they would lose their mind. And they'd be like, are you insane? You're nuts. And they actually, there's this feverish response from the cult of squares, I would call it. But,
The cult of squares.
Yeah.
It's a great square. Sometimes, depending on the day. Sometimes you come in and lean over and one would look better than the other.
If I had to grab a slice right now, I would grab a round. Because I gotta be quick, I gotta eat, right?
Yeah.
But if I could only have one more slice, like if I was on a deserted island and I only got one more, I'd probably go for the square. I say, no, I gotta have that square. Just if I'm gonna die tonight and I need something, that would probably be the one. But they're both the squares. Well, if you want something hearty, more sauce, you go for the square. If you want to be gentle and just kind of have like a nice, light kind of vibe, you go for the round. Yeah.
I like it. You call it light. This place is so weird. They make decisions based on what brings up the result that they like. So instead of just buying commercial-sized bags of flour, they're buying retail-sized bags of flour, like little tiny Caputo 00 flour bags instead of a 55-pound, or rather a 25-kilo bag. All right, let's eat this. What do you say? So this is the square. If you're ordering a whole pie of a round and you see a square is available for the slice, get a square while you wait. It's a little appetizer. But here it is. It's somewhere between the thickness of a Sicilian and the thinness of a grandma. Greased up on the pan so you get the fried on the bottom. And it's dense. It holds up. Remember, 3 cheeses, rough crushed tomato, basil, pecorino parmigiano.
By the way, the pot that those squares were cooked in, from 1965.
That's the original
same pans.
Never got a new pan.
Some guy wanted to buy one from us. He came in, he kept offering us some money. We sold him one because we only have maybe 14. So we bought it and he came back and wanted another one. We were like, we regret giving you the first one. So
That's a 1965 pan?
1965. That's a seasoned pan from 1965.
Never been washed.
Square pans.
That's awesome. Oh.
My father always said to me, he said, just keep doing this. He said, just do this. He goes, everything will always be all right as long as you keep doing this. That's what he used to always tell me, and that's what I always do. But I always got to be concerned about those outside forces that are happening. But, I just want to give people the best food that I can give them. And, that's what my father did. Wanted people to enjoy the food. I like to see people enjoying themselves eating the food. I know they work hard for their money. They're, and I want them to be happy with what they're getting. And, and that's what it is. That's what he did. There's a lot of stuff about my father before he became known. He had a whole time in this place, and I know how he interacted with the people and what he felt and what he wanted them to think about the food. And that's what he cared about. It was just about food. It was just about eating, sitting there, complaining and eating, having some wine, complaining some more, talking, and just, like what Italians do. You go eat and you sit there and yell at each other, and,
By the way, this is my favorite move. The pizza is stretched so big and so thin, it doesn't even fit in the box. So if you cut a little sliver out of the center, remove that, the pizza will magically fit in the box.
Right? So sometimes when people are working, they like I say a Juicy Lucy, and they were like, you're making the pizza too big, it's not fitting in the box. I would say, hey, just take the cutter, just slam it in the box, get it in there, just, smash it in. It'll get in there. You can push it in, but it'll get it in there.
Well, now it's still too big for it, but it's better than it.
This one's fitting better than usual.
Yeah, I know.
Actually.
Oh, see that? So beautiful. So this is just a little, don't tell anybody about this. Whoever got that pie, they will never know. They'll never know. This is just the move you gotta do on a regular slice. Hot pickled peppers. And I always try to get a couple of them on the pie and then drizzle a bunch of the oil on there. And then a little. You want the rest of it?
No, thank you. I got plenty of that. What's that, hot?
Yeah, it's just the peppers. I just don't want to waste the whole thing,
No, my wife doesn't like that.
Oh, then do not. Then do not.
I know.
We used to also use that in everything we cook. The peppers.
I love them.
Calabrian peppers. We used to put them on steak, fish, just in the pasta too. Everything. When my father started getting this stuff, every night we were using it on everything. It's good on everything.
Well, it's great on this slice.
Very unique hot pepper.
Come on. Calabrian hot peppers. Not too hot, but they give you a little edge. There you go. This is Fara on Avenue J. If you've never been, you need to get here. If you have been, you already understand. This is Scott Wiener from Slice Out Hunger and Scott's Pizza Tours signing off with Flavors of New York.